everyone, I'm Nuray, and today I want to talk about how people can reach their targets. First off, I want to talk about a little story. When I was a child, I was always asked one simple question: who do you want to be when you grow up? And every year my answer changed into, I want to be an actor, to doctor, from engineer to many other professions. But I realized one thing soon. If I want to be successful, I can choose to be whatever I want. The main thing was I wanted to be successful and reach my goals. So I thought about it a lot for many years, from every single TED Talk, and I realized many things. First of all, what do we need? We need social skills. Social skills are skills we use to interact with each other every time in a both verbal and non-verbal way. Some of the basic skills are communication with each other or taking turns and waiting patiently. Second is management skills. Management skills is the act or the art of managing, and we use them in our daily life, especially at school. For example, during my school days, we use a lot of these skills, for example, as teamwork, time management, or problem solving. Then, plans and backup plans. What is a plan? Plan is a detailed proposal for reaching something. And backup plans is also a version of plan you use in the case if your plan fails. What are benefits of the plans? Well, plans, they help us to learn from failure. When you fail the first plan, you think for a while, what was my mistake? What did I fail to do in the first plan? Well, second, it provides direction, and then it reduces stress and anxiety. From every single plan that you make, you'll just realize one thing: I made a mistake here, and the next time I won't do this mistake again. Then, how to train. There are several ways of training, and training is very important, since if I've got my equipment, now I need the environment in which I'm going to train. So, how do we train? First is a way of we do it ourselves. When we do it ourselves, mainly we need to see how can we eliminate our weaknesses. Well, first, look to the list of what you can't do in your life. I'm sure many of the people standing here see their own weaknesses, and they think every day, how can I make myself better? Eliminate that weakness that you have got in your mind. Second, improve your attention span. Attention span is the duration of how long you can focus on something. As Mina said, introverts can focus on something for a long time. What about, for example, extroverts? But even from your personality, you can try improving your attention span. And I'm going to give you a tip in the end how to improve it. Then is don't run for big steps. You can want to reach a goal in your life that you really want to accomplish, but in that time, you don't need to run for it. Just try to divide it in small steps. After you divide it into small steps, make it a routine in your life. Then you will notice that you will reach your goals in a more efficient and quick way. Then, support. Sometimes in our life, we need someone's support or someone's guidance. Sometimes we need more reliable sources. And this time, this is one of the benefits of support. Here, sometimes you need someone's help. So you'll have more reliable sources, you'll have better tips in life. Because, for example, when you ask an adult, hey mom, I didn't know how to do this. Can you explain me how can I do this? Or, hey dad, I didn't understand something from mathematics. Can you help it to me? From their experiences or from their insights, you can learn what their mistakes were, and instead, you can improve in a better way. So, from the insights that your parents had, or from the experiences that many of the people had, you can improve and make something better. Second, the most important part in this TED Talk that I very wanted to say. What are real goals and how do we create them? What do most of you think is a real goal? Think for a while. What do I call a real goal? Well, first, a real goal has a target. Target is what you have to have done or accomplished. They must be specific, concrete, very inspiring, and significant to you. Second is how you want to get it done. It is the strategy, how you want to get it. Well, in this strategy, it must be measurable and verifiable. It must be specific. For example, I'll give you a true story. Most of you right now use Google to search up, right? Well, do you know how the history of it was? Raise your hands if you know how Sergey Brin and Larry Page created Google. Well, I'll tell you that. Larry Page and Sergey Brin started to create Google in 2008. And their goal was this. Their target was to get 1 million people to view their site. The first year, they failed. They couldn't do that. So they changed its strategy. Then, in the second year, they said, we want to get 10 million people. Again, this time they couldn't reach their target. Then they changed the strategy. Guess what happened in 2010? Their target was to get hundreds million of people in their website. And they did it. Their target was accomplished, and the strategy that they used was much more successful. And this time, they got 110 followers on the Google site. They were successful. The strategy worked, their target was simple, and they also. Target was inspiring. It inspired us. It was important. The strategy itself was successful. Real goals. I thought a lot on this. What are real goals? And I realized one thing. Real goals is the mixture of your passion, your ambition, and your purpose in the life. What you want to have in the life. How you will be remembered through all of the people. I'm sure in this audition, there are many people who want to reach their goals. Do you have goals that you want to reach? Raise your hand. Everybody has a goal that they want to reach, right? Well, did you reach these goals? Raise your hand if you did. We tried to. Some of us couldn't. Well, I hope I could help you in this TED Talk. Now, I'll give you some tips. One of the tips is that you need to be patient. There are a lot of hard workers, and they think that their hard work, they'll pay off in a very quick time. But remember, be resilient, be patient in this time, because not everything happens immediately. Second, believe in yourself. Everything will start with you. If you don't believe in yourself, don't think that somebody else will boost your mood up in a day and tell you that you can do this. First, believe in your work and believe in yourself. Second is learn how to listen. I studied the management skills that people need to learn how to listen. But are people even good listeners? Some of the people fail to listen to us, and sometimes when we speak, they just interrupt us. Learn how to listen, because it's not how you talk. People will also need for you to understand the words. And if you need to understand the word, you gotta listen to what they say. When you learn how to listen, you'll learn how to tell them and how to give them an argument. Second is consistency. Consistency is like a routine. Every single day you go to school in a consistent way. You learn their new things, you have new things to learn, you learn all of them. And if you keep practicing in a consistent way, then you'll reach them. And I'll tell you how. Third, as I said, I will give you a tip how to improve your attention span. Most of the students here and teenagers, or the 8th graders, it doesn't matter. In your school years, I'm sure the teachers have told you to read a book and then go write a review about it and tell it. Do any of you remember that? Yeah, people didn't like these years because who likes to tell their teacher what was written in the book? I know it, I already knew it, I read it, so finished here. But there's one thing. Do you know how it improves your mind? For example, from every book that I read, I enjoyed to tell it to someone. For example, my grandpa told me every time, read a book, then tell it to me. Because he knew that when I say that book, when I decided to tell him what was in there, I know what were my mistakes when I told him. I realized what were my mistakes during that time, what did I say incorrect, and then I improved it. I started to read the literature, I ended up writing the literature, and I realized what were my mistakes, what I needed to improve. Then, I would like to say about practice. Practice must be consistent. And here as I wrote, daily life means how consistent you will do it. I have a friend that works with the same formula of practice, which is how you do it yourself and also how you do it in your daily life. For example, how long can you remember mathematics? Well, you practice it during the school days, which is in your daily life, and then you practice it yourself. When you practice it yourself and in the daily life, you'll remember it more. For example, during the comp days, I'm sure most of the students didn't even open some of the subjects because they just spent their time. Let's be honest, students that are sitting in the audition, how many of you opened the math book every single day? Raise your hand. Let's be honest. Yeah, only a few of us did that. Why? Because they had homework to do? Yeah, probably. Or how you opened it for your own will, just to study and just to remember that. Well, I'm sure I'll give you credits for that you will get much more effective result in your exams because you practiced it a lot of times. I'll give these extra sources and at my TED Talk here. I want to highly recommend you Rashad Baramot, Sözne Güven or Özne Güven. I use many from the techniques here and I found it very helpful because how it reduced stress, how it helped me a lot. Second, I'd like to give the TED platform itself because it is very inspirational, and if I never listened to these TED Talks, I would have never been in this stage telling and talking to you right now. And the third one is a book I'm sure some people have heard about. Ein Hund Namens Money. This book is not only about money, as from the name. This book also boosted my confidence in here, because the book gives you a technique how to self-confident yourself, how to boost your self-confidence. So read the book and then you realize what I'm talking about. Thank you for listening.